what kind of world we are leaving behind. A world where millions still sleep hungry, where entire cities disappear under floods, where children are denied education because of poverty or war, or a world where development, equality, and environmental protection work together for everyone. That question led to one of the most ambitious global plans in human history, the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs. But here's the thing most people misunderstand. The SDGs are not just idealistic promises made by politicians at the United Nations. They are the survival frameworks for humanity itself. Because in today's world, poverty, climate change, inequality, economic instability, food shortage, conflict, and environmental collapse are all connected. You cannot solve one crisis while ignoring the other. And that is exactly why the SDGs matter. Moving to our first section. What are the SDGs? The Sustainable Development Goals are the set of 17 goals adopted in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. These goals were created to build a more equal, peaceful, sustainable, and prosperous world by year 2030. The SDGs apply to every country on earth, rich or poor, developed or developing. That universality is extremely important. Before the SDGs, the global framework was called Millennium Development Goals or MDGs, which ran from 2000 to 2015. While the MDGs help reduce extreme poverty and improve healthcare and education, they mostly focused on developing countries. The SDGs changed that completely. They recognized a powerful truth. Climate change in one region affects the entire planet. Economic inequality creates global instability. Environmental destruction threatens everyone, and sustainable development requires collective responsibility. The SDGs shifted humanity from a them versus now mindset towards a shared global mission. Moving to the section 2, the 17 goals and their meaning. The SDGs are designed and interconnected pillars of human development. Goal number 1, no poverty. Ending extreme poverty everywhere, because poverty is not just lack of income, it means lack of healthcare, education, security, and opportunity. Goal number 2 is zero hunger, ensuring food security and sustainable agriculture. A hungry population cannot build stable society. Goal number 3, good health and well-being, access to healthcare, medicine, and healthy lives for all people. The COVID-19 pandemics proved that public health is global security. Goal number 4, quality education, providing inclusive and equitable education. Education is one of the strongest tools against poverty and extremism. Goal number 5, gender equality, empowering women and girls. No society can progress while half of its population remains marginalized. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation, safe drinking water and sanitation systems. Water scarcity is already becoming a major geopolitical issue. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy, transitioning towards renewable and sustainable energy systems. The future economy depends on clean energy innovation. Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, creating fair jobs and sustainable economic opportunities. Development must improve human lives, not just GDP numbers. Goal number 9, industry innovations and infrastructure building. Goal number 10, reduced inequalities, reducing social and economic inequality within and between nations. Extreme inequality creates political instability and social unrest. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities, making cities safer, greener, and more resilient. Urban populations are growing rapidly, especially in developing countries. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production, reducing waste and promoting sustainability. Current consumption patterns are exhausting Earth's resources. Goal number 13, climate action, combating climate change and its impacts. Climate change is now one of the greater threats to human civilization. Goal number 14, life below water, protecting Oceans and marine ecosystem. Healthy oceans are essential for food systems and climate balance. Goal number 15. Life on land. Protecting forest, biodiversity and ecosystems. Deforestation and biodiversity loss threaten planetary stability. Goal number 16. Peace, justice and strong institutions. Promoting peaceful societies and accountable governance. Without stability and justice, development cannot survive. Goal number 17. Partnerships for the goals. Global cooperation between governments, business and societies. No country can solve global crisis alone. Moving towards section 3. Why the SDGs matter so much. The importance of SDGs goes far beyond policy documents. The SDGs matter because they recognize that development is interconnected. For decades, many countries focused only on economic growth, but growth alone did not solve inequality, environmental destruction, or climate vulnerability. A country can achieve economic growth while millions remain poor. Forests disappear, water becomes polluted, and climate disasters destroy infrastructure. The SDGs challenge that outdated model. They argue that true development must balance economic progress, social justice, and environmental sustainability. This is why SDGs are often described as the blueprint for humanity's future. Section 4. Climate change and SDGs. One of the biggest strengths of the SDGs is that they integrate climate change into development itself. Climate change is not only an environmental issue, it affects food security, migration, health systems, economies, water supplies, and political stability. For example, when floods destroy crops, food prices rise. When droughts hit farmers, poverty increases. When heat waves intensify labor, productivity falls. When sea levels rise, entire communities are displaced. This is especially devastating for poorer nations. Countries in South Asia, Africa, and small island states contribute very little to global carbon emissions, yet they face the harsh climate consequences. That is why many developing nations now demand climate justice. They argue that industrialized countries became wealthy through centuries of fossil fuel use, while poorer nations are now paying the price for crises they did not create. The SDGs recognize this inequality and push for global cooperation and climate finance. Alright, let's highlight the most vulnerable region in the earth with regards SDGs and climate change. The South Asian perspective. South Asia represents one of the clearest examples of why the SDGs are necessary. Countries like Pakistan, India, Bhutan, Nepal, and Afghanistan face enormous development challenges. Poverty, population growth, unemployment, water shortage, urban and overcrowding, and climate vulnerability. Pakistan's devastating floods in 2020 showed how climate disasters can erase years of economic progress within weeks. Bangladesh faces rising sea levels and cyclone threats. India confronts extreme heat waves and water stresses. These challenges demonstrate that sustainable development is no longer optional, it is essential for survival and stability.